Hello, hello, welcome everyone, dzień dobry. Today we are meeting in English and in Polish. Spotykamy się po angielsku i po polsku. I hope so you are ready for that. That's another innovation in insurance life. Hello, my name is Aleksandra Wysocka and I'm leading insurance magazine Insurance Weekly. Jak wiecie, nazywam się, albo nie wiecie, Aleksandra Wysocka i kieruję gazetą ubezpieczeniową. And today we will speak about operations in insurance. If you need additional materials, write in the comments operations and we will send you the presentation. So that's the plan for today. And my special guest is Marta Stier, who is head of European Business Support Center in Marsh. Hello, Marta.
Hello, how are you?
Great. So you can write comments in Polish, in English, we will manage. Marta, we will. Yes, I guess. Hello, Robert. Okay, Robert, operations, great. Do as Robert does to have the presentation, and we will talk about the present and future of operations in insurance. But at the beginning, could you tell us what exactly does Marsh European Business Support Center you lead?
Sure. So maybe before I talk about the center, just to give you a background about Marsh McLennan first. So it is made up of 4 different areas. First one is Marsh, which is the insurance risk management part, which is what I'm going to focus on today, as the European Business Support Center out of Warsaw supports the Marsh business. We also have Mercer, which is our HR consultancy group, Guy Carpenter, which is our reinsurance area, and Oliver Wyman, our strategic consulting. We're a Fortune 200 company, headquartered out of the U.S. in New York. Been around for many years. Obviously doing quite well in terms of growth and profitability. But we are a company with over 150-year history. So really excited to share with you a little bit more about what we do in Warsaw. And European Business Support Center, as I mentioned, is part of Marsh, and it supports our colleagues in over 15 countries in Europe. We're a group of around 450 operational colleagues, working to support our different clients in different areas. Some of those are around claims, policy servicing, and fiduciary and invoicing. So looking forward to share with you a little bit more about some of our challenges, some of the things that we're seeing as trends, and what's really driving our growth. Maybe worth to mention, around 3 years ago, we were roughly 90 colleagues, so we've grew significantly. We've moved a number of operational roles centralized into Warsaw over the last couple of years. So excited to share with you some of our learnings, our findings, and what's up ahead.
That's really great. A lot of operations every day in 15 countries. So could you tell us what kind of changes do you observe? What have changed?
Sure. So in terms of, operations in general, but also in terms of those that impacting the insurance operational space, I think most of us will agree that there's a massive digital transformation. There's, AI, machine learning, robotics. Everywhere we look, there's a new technology that is impacting our business, our clients, our ecosystem. So digital transformation has been a big metamorphosis that has taken part and is still continuing to do so. Second one is remote work and virtual collaboration. I think what we found during COVID is that it really changed the way we work. And now we're really not at the office every day. We're working in a hybrid mode. We're connected even through an interview like this, which a lot of times this would have been done in person, still recorded live, but we wouldn't be taking advantage of these kinds of technologies. And we see that more and more in our day-to-day work. Third one is data-driven decision-making. I think we're finding that data has become metadata. There's a lot of information. It's collecting it, being able to visualizing it, being able to look at it live to help us drive proper decisions. is something that we see even more relevant every single day. I think one of the benefits, which I'll talk about later in terms of centralization, is that we do have central systems. One system, we're able to gather data that's live, that's in dashboards, so that we can manage those operations and make decisions much faster, quicker, more dynamic, and make the right ones. The fourth one here is agility and flexibility. I think given the world, the world risks are changing, the dynamics are changing, the speed of which there is change happening around us in our personal lives, professional lives, in the world in general is very high, and that impacts our work as well. So the importance of being agile, being able to change directions, being able to be flexible, is very important, and will continue to be over the next couple of years. And then lastly, sustainability and social responsibility. I think we see, with ESG and a lot of different products and a lot of different regulations, this is becoming a very important aspect in any business, including insurance.
You told about data-driven decision making, and we can observe that analytics seems more and more important. And how can it optimize operations?
Sure. So I think when it comes to the power of analytics and data, I think it's really improving decision making, right? I always think when we talk about hiring, forecasts. In my business, it's very peak driven. Like many of you will be on the call, there's certain months of the year where volumes are significantly high. So be able to look at those numbers live and be able to make decisions is very important. Making sure that we're also investing in the right areas, looking at the areas that need the most focus, is part where the data helps us improve those decision making. Second, it's enhancing efficiency and productivity. So as an operations center, one of our key goals and objectives is to make the processes that we centralize more efficient. And by looking at the data, for example, we have a single system that we use to track all the transactions and all the things that we do. By looking at a single process across multiple countries and just looking at the data of how long it takes us, gives us a lot of information where we can focus. So if we see a certain process, I don't know, for Spain takes twice as long as the same process in Belgium, we can then look into what are the process steps and what can we do to change those or implement best practices so that we are more efficient, and in theory we should be more productive as well. And I mentioned demand forecasting. This is related to peak period. We can look at the previous year's volumes in certain areas and be able to help us predict what we need in terms of the amount of staffing to be able to assure good client service. And one of the things we use that data for is to hire interns. We have a very big internship program that we do during our peak period that has really helped us be successful during those periods. Fourth one here is quality control and defect defection, so E&Os. Part of that is through the data we do roughly 5% of quality checks of all our processes. So we're able to, because of the systems and the data that we have, randomly select a number of transactions to check. And those really help give us insights to make sure that we're proactive in the quality checks of the work that we do for our clients and our colleagues in other countries. And then last thing is the real-time monitoring optimization. I remember even a few years ago when we were still growing, a lot of our even though we had the data, they weren't live dashboards. There were things that needed to be pulled. So now that every single manager is able to log into a system and see where they are in a given hour in terms of number of transactions, if there are any backlogs, if there are things pending, is extremely valuable for us in terms of day-to-day operations.
Great. Remember to have this presentation, you need to write operations in the comments like Monica did. Hi, Monica. So let's talk about key trends. You observe a lot of operations, a lot of data and analytics. So what it reveal? What do you observe? What we shouldn't ignore?
Sorry. So in terms of the trends, and I think I'll be intertwining some of these topics as we come along. Digital transformation is probably going to be on every single one of my answers. It's absolutely huge in terms of I mentioned some of the different value streams that we do in terms of fiduciary, in terms of policy servicing, claims. We also have client onboarding, and I would say that there's a digital element in each and every one of those value streams. So we have different technologies. We're trying to automate as much as we can. We're trying to have systems in place where they're end to end, where the clients can use in the operations to have up-to-date data. The second one is artificial intelligence and AI. I think also a very hot topic now. Internally at Marsh McLennan, we have Len AI, which is our internal version of ChatGPT, which we've been developing over the last year plus. And it's become very powerful in terms of helping us with translations, in terms of helping us with reviewing certain documents in our processes. So and helping us make some of the processes in the future. We're hoping they will help us make them language agnostic. As I mentioned earlier, we support a number of countries, and what makes us unique in Warsaw is that we support those countries in the local languages, because you can imagine the documents that we receive are in local language. With AI, the ability to make these language neutral is a big opportunity that we see in the future. And lastly, customer centricity. I think this would probably be an old one, but still a good one and a very important one for the future, making sure that we're designing processes and designing outcomes that will benefit our customers and our clients. And that has to be at the heart and soul of everything that we do, and understanding the customer journey and understanding how that impacts our clients and working very closely with them, I think is one of the reasons Marsh McLennan has continued to grow over the last years.
You centralize operations for 15 countries, and what are the benefits of centralizing? Isn't it somehow the distance isn't the problem? Is it really a benefit?
So in terms of centralizing, I think one of the first ones that tends to come to mind is probably number 4 here, the cost savings. And what I would say, it's probably becoming the least important one when I look at the value that's being created. Obviously, there are always business cases, and we do look for cost savings when we pick an initial location. But the value that comes, and I'd like to put that cost aside, because I really think the biggest value is from the other levers. So one, better customer experience. You ask me, well, how is it better? Is it because you're smarter and better in Poland? So I don't think that's the case. I think, and I'm a strong believer that if it was in Poland, if it was in another country, it's about centralizing the work in a single location, meaning that we can design standards, we can leverage best practices, and we can design something for the client that is better. So to give you an example, if we have a single process that exists in several countries, we can very easily get everyone into a room, discuss what works, what doesn't, what the feedback is from the clients, where they're the happiest, what is the value that we're adding, and we're able to very easily propose what the best practice should be. And we see that quite often. So I think that is probably the biggest benefit. The second one is improved efficiencies. I think with scale, as I mentioned, we have 450 colleagues at the moment at our operational center. And we're the largest operations and technology location in Europe at the moment. That just means that when we do a project, we're able to get more efficiencies. If we do a single project on multiple processes, we're able to implement it quite quickly and gain those benefits, versus if we were trying to implement a project in 10 different countries, it would take us a lot longer and it wouldn't be as efficient, the whole process. So we're seeing this as a big focus. Just this year alone, where we have a number of roles that we're tracking and a number of processes that we're making more efficient through robotics, through automation, through Lean AI. So different methods there. Also improved data analytics. I think I touched on this before. The fact that we have a single system and we actually have a dedicated data team now in Warsaw that supports the region. We are able to generate some very powerful tools for our CEOs in the different countries to give an overview of the operational metrics in each of the areas, which we didn't have before. And then last one here is agility and flexibility. I think the fact that we have many people in a single location, if we are looking to do an analysis or a change, it's often easier to do that by being able to bring everyone together and make those changes when you're in a single location. So I think those are the main ones.
You compare and improve operations in different countries, different markets. And what is the most difficult thing? What are the barriers you observe? And
so I think there's always challenges, and there's challenges that I've observed, in my 15 years of my career, that some of them haven't changed, and some of them are stronger than they were before. I think the resistance to change has, I think it's human nature. We don't want to exert energy into changing things. I think it's even more difficult now because there's just so many things changing around us. It's not just at work. We're seeing, there was the pandemic, there's a war, there's inflation, there's a lot of different things going around us. There's AI, there's, chat GPT, there's all of these things that are changing the way we work and live. And the amount of those changes has made it even more difficult for us to kind of feel comfortable and drive that change forward. Secondly is legacy system and infrastructure. We're a very large company with a very long history. And like most Fortune 500 companies who are as large as we are, with the history that we have grown through mergers and acquisitions, and we continue to do so. And that's kind of how you end up with a number of legacy systems, which we're always trying to consolidate and make lower, but it makes it difficult. If we have a single process that we support in multiple countries, but that tool and underlying technology is different, the standardization and efficiency part is going to be much more difficult to implement. So a big focus on digitalization and consolidation of those tools for us. And then lastly, it's siloed data. Right? And that's very connected also to the legacy systems. If you have different data coming from different systems, it's very likely that one isn't going to match the other, and it makes it difficult to have quality, good data to make those decisions. They say trash in, trash out, and I think unfortunately, the more systems you have, the more cumbersome it can be, and more difficult to make the right decisions.
Mergers and acquisitions are also challenge for Polish insurance market. A lot of changes this year and last year. So I guess many of us can understand it. Let's talk about the youngest generation of our employees, because I know that you have some skills and experience how to manage them and make them work, if I can say so. But maybe it's not so hard as people say. What do you think about it?
So we do. The average age of our colleagues that we employ in the Insurance Operations Center is around 28, 29 years old. So we're very familiar with Gen Z employees. And there's a number of things that we observe that is important to them through the conversations that we have, and a number of programs that we do to help develop and make sure that we have these elements in place to keep job satisfaction high and motivation high. One of those is embracing technology, and I think so. This is a key one, and some of the things that we do here. I mentioned Len AI or internal Chat GPT. We also do meetings called Tech Tuesdays for our colleagues, which deep dive into different technologies that we use within the company. Some are specific to us that have been built internally, but some are more broader. So making sure that we're embracing the technology and teaching that technology. We also do digital awareness sessions, which again focus on different technologies that can help our colleagues in their day-to-day work. The second thing here is around providing regular feedback and recognition. We do quite a lot here. We train our managers and our leadership into how to provide feedback in the most effective ways. We train our colleagues that, feedback should be given both ways and that, their voice counts and we want to hear it. We have a recognition program that we've run over the last couple of years that is meant to promote some of the things that we want to promote as an operational center, is acknowledging colleagues for their great teamwork, or for developing new best practices, or helping with a project that will gain efficiencies and standardization. And we do those every 6 weeks and recognize colleagues that we usually try to do that in the office, and it's quite a big celebration. Third one here is promoting work-life balance. Very important for Gen Z, and I'd even say probably important for a lot of us after the pandemic. So we're continuing to work in a hybrid mode. We're making sure that we have the right tools and collaboration tools in place in order to enable that. And then moving on, there's one here called Authentic Be Yourself. Gen Z really, really likes authentic leadership. And this is actually part of our goals we want to make sure that everyone feels that they can be themselves. So we have a diversity and inclusion group, making sure that everyone feels accepted and comfortable, but also making sure that the leadership speaks in a language about the change and is being honest around changes and around anything that is happening so that it's easily understood and perceived in the right way. Next one here is around continuous learning and development. So very big. And I'd probably say, for Gen Z, this is statistically a very important aspect, but I would say having a growth mindset is going to be critical for all of us, no matter what generation we are, because the world is changing so fast, because we're in a massive digital transformation period. Being able to constantly learn is going to determine, who's going to be successful and not left behind. So very important. At the European Business Support Center, we've developed an insurance academy for our colleagues. We have over 60 different programs and trainings specific to not only insurance, but some soft skills and hard skills around some of the new technologies, but also how to communicate in the hybrid world, and some of the soft skills required to make that a success. And then the last one here is fostering a collaborative work environment. So really important that, the decisions that are made, we do a lot of focus groups. We're constantly asking feedback from our colleagues in certain decisions. So we're trying to make sure that their voice is heard. And a lot of times the solutions that are developed by getting everyone involved are much more unique and better fit for the organization than if, one person sitting in a room decides what is best. So yeah, I think it's dynamic. It's a lot of different things that are important. I think a lot of these things are important for everyone. Maybe I can just mention one more, something new that we implemented last year, and this is more around regular feedback. Most companies do, engagement surveys, exit interviews, quite standard. One thing that we started to do is stay interviews. So, doing exit interviews and asking people, why they're leaving is a bit too late. So what we're trying to do is randomly select a number of people to kind of ask them, well, why are you here? And what do you enjoy most about the work and about the job? And trying to foster those ideas to be a bit more proactive. And those have actually given us a very interesting insights on new projects and initiatives for us to make it's a place that will attract the best talent and help us keep the best talent.
Very, very nice idea. I like it. And I guess many of these ideas could be attractive not only for Gen Z.
Yep.
I guess we all
Absolutely.
need that to be heard, to be seen, to be ourselves, and to have some balance in life. So I guess very, very positive trend for all generations working together. Okay, we have some small contest for you. Mamy dla Was konkurs tutaj z Martą. If you would like to have the presentation, write operations in comments. Żeby dostać prezentację, wpiszcie w komentarzu operację, nasz bot Wam wyśle, albo moja asystentka po nagraniu. So write operations and please like the streaming. It really is a lot helpful for insurance educations. So if you could just thumb up, that would be really great. And here we have our question. If you fast write a short, brief answer, you can win a gift from Marsh. So here is the question, and could you please, Marta, read it if you see it?
Sure. What dangers do you see in AI? Do you think AI in Business Operations Center will replace part of the workforce?
Great, I'm really interested. What do you think? Czy myślicie, że jakim zagrożeniem może być AI i czy zastąpi być może część pracowników albo siły roboczej, jakby to tak dosłownie przetłumaczyć? Marku, maybe you will tell us. It can be in English, can be in Polish to faster. Maybe it will be faster for you. And what do you think, Marta? What is your opinion?
So I don't think it will replace the workforce. I think it'll shift the kind of work that we do. So I do think that some of it will be changed, but I think that there's such a need for us to constantly be hiring and doing more complex work that I don't see it as an immediate threat.
So any bots in the comments? Maybe you could answer. Oh, it's a difficult subject, and I guess okay. Any answers? Will AI replace us? Yes, no, maybe partial. What do you think? Czy inteligencja sztuczna zastąpi nas częściowo, wspomoże, a może już niedługo nie będziemy potrzebni? What do you think? Okay, maybe this time we will extend the contest, and when you write, because maybe it needs some thinking on your side. So we will see the comments till the end of the day, and we will send it to Marsh, and they will choose the best answer they like the most. So just even if you watch the recording, it's not live, you could still win if you do it today. And today we have 16th of April 2024. Dear Marta, thank you very much. Is there anything more you could tell us about your challenges for this year? Maybe that is my last questions. What are you working on now this year?
Yeah, I think it's some of the things that I mentioned. I think, we are continuing to grow. So we are continuing to add roughly around 100 additional roles this year. And other than continue to grow and centralize work, we are very heavily focused on gaining efficiencies, and those are partially, I would say, our biggest focus aside from digitalization and AI and automation is standardization. We still see that there's a lot of potential there. So I would say those are our three biggest buckets.
So great, thank you very much, and
thank you.
And see you next time. And moi drodzy, zapraszam Was na ubezpieczeniowy live w czwartek i wtedy porozmawiamy o nowym ubezpieczeniu utraty dochodu w Leadenhallu, a ja Wam bardzo dziękuję. Okay, and now we have answer from Marek. As all other tools, it can be used in right and bad purposes, but in general, it will not replace all jobs, professions. Robert, thanks a lot, very interesting presentation and a point of view. Okay, so I guess Marek is the winner. What do you think, Marta?
Yeah, I think so.
Great, Marek. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
For your insight. My assistant Dorota will contact you. Great, thank you. Thank you for your presence, and to all, have a great week and see you in the next Insurance Live.
Thank you.